Hello and welcome to the social network on NDTV 24/7. Today on the show, in the wake of the stunning expose of the US National Security Agency scrutinizing and accessing private data from major companies like Google and Apple and others, and of course then the reveal of the whistleblower behind the leaks. Everyone is asking, what will Edward Snowden do now? He's on the run, he's hiding, he's looking for asylum. The US government is all set to arrest him, but this is something that does not happen on this scale very often, but does happen all the time on a much smaller scale. The question is, what protections can be put in place for whistleblowers? In India, the answer is none. Snowden effect is what we're talking about on the social network today. There is no safety for Indian users and whistleblowers. That's a question we're going to be putting to our guests. RTI activist Anjali Bharadwaj with us in studio. Also joining us, Bhairav Acharya, who's going to be breaking down the technicals of it for us. And joining us, somebody who's faced the issue of being someone who's been under the scrutiny of the government while fighting for justice, Rehaimant in charge, Mazihuddin Sanjari. Thank you, all of you, for joining us. First of all, I think it's important here to put in place what exactly whistleblower means. Anjali, we toss the word whistleblower around a lot, but a whistleblower is somebody who from within a system, within an organization, exposes data which makes that organization or that system more open, particularly if it is opaque like major corporates or governments. Is that right?
Well, it is what you said is only part of the definition. The way we like to define whistleblowers is much broader. The traditional definition of whistleblowers, of course, has been somebody from within the system who's exposing wrongdoing, exposing corruption, exposing anything that is illegal and anything that's a criminal offense within a system. But today, especially in the context of India, where there is the Right to Information Act and where any citizen can actually access information from within the government, every citizen potentially is a whistleblower. So we see that in one scam after another, which has been unearthed in the recent few years, we've seen that citizens have been able to use the Right to Information Act to access information from the government, and therefore they have the same information that somebody traditionally within the government had, and therefore using that they are able to today expose corruption, expose wrongdoing within the government. So typically what we have been saying is that the definition of the whistleblower needs to be expanded. Today we have a whistleblower protection bill in the parliament, and fortunately that bill does have a fairly broad definition of a whistleblower. It not only talks about protecting whistleblowers within the system, but also citizens outside who are blowing the whistle on corruption and wrongdoing.
Anjali, we'll come back to the bill and what the bill makes provisions for in just a second. But Mazihuddin ji se baat kar lete hain hum, because he would be one of the people who'd come under the ambit of this broader definition that Anjali was talking about. Mazihuddin ji, aap bataiye, aap jo kaam karte hain, उसके लिए आपके फोन देखे जाते हैं, आप हर जगह जहां जाते हैं पुलिस आप पे निगरानी रखती है, आप बता सकते हैं क्या होता है?
नहीं, फोन भी हमारे टेप किए जाते हैं और हमारे मूवमेंट्स पर भी नजर रखी जाती है। कई बार ऐसा हुआ है, एक बार मैं लखनऊ आया और यहाँ एक प्रोग्राम था, उस प्रोग्राम को अटेंड करके जैसे ही मैं आजमगढ़ पहुंचा हूं, मेरे पास फोन आता है कि आप लखनऊ से वापस कब आए। तो कोई ना कोई हमें वॉच कर रहा है और हमारे फोन टैप किए जा रहे हैं, हमारे ऊपर नज़र रखी जा रही है। तो इस तरह के वाकयात हमारे साथ होते रहते हैं, और स्पेशली उस टाइम जब देश में कहीं धमाके होते हैं और हम एक्टिवली ये जानना चाहते हैं कि फैक्ट क्या है, और सूत्रों के हवाले से जब खबरें आती हैं कि आजमगढ़ और स्पेशली मैं संजरपुर की बात करता हूँ कि यहाँ के जो लड़के लापता हैं, जब उनकी बात आती है कि उनका हाथ था कहीं जी, तो जिज्ञासा हमारी बढ़ती है। हम ये कोशिश करते हैं कि और कौन कौन सी चीज़ें आ रही हैं खबरों में, कहाँ कहाँ आरोप लगाए जा रहे हैं, खाली आजमगढ़ संजरपुर है या कहीं और भी है।
मजीदुद्दीन जी, अगर आप ये लेके कोर्ट जाएं, अगर आप ये मुद्दा लेके कोर्ट जाएं तो कोर्ट जाके कुछ फर्क पड़ता है?
कोर्ट जाने के लिए जिन चीजों की जरूरत होती है वो हमारे पास नहीं है। हमारे पास कोई ऐसा जरिया नहीं है कि हम ये कह सकें कि नहीं हमारे फोन टैप हो रहे हैं और उसका कोई प्रूफ हमारे पास हो। तो जब तक कोई प्रूफ ऐसा नहीं होता है तो हम कोई लीगल रेमेडी हमको नहीं मिल सकती। ऐसी हालत में कोर्ट जाना या कोई और दूसरी रेमेडी, सरकार हमारी सुनेगी नहीं, एजेंसियां हमारी सुनेंगी नहीं, हमको कोई उसमें पारदर्शिता है नहीं, हमको कोई प्रूफ मिलेगा नहीं, तो किस बुनियाद पे हम कोर्ट में जाएंगे?
Ji. Now, of course, as we heard what happens on the ground from Masauddin ji, but let's go over to Bhairav now. Clearly, Bhairav, we're getting signals with the central monitoring system, which is quietly being put in place, and the ambit of how much the government knows and how far they can tamp down people like whistleblowers is going to extend quite a bit.
Yes, that's correct. The biggest worry that we have is that the CMS, the Central Monitoring System, is being implemented without any law and in a manner that is not transparent. The government orders that are necessary to put in place such a system are not publicly available, and the ministry, which is the Ministry of Communications and IT, alone cannot be doing this. This will be in cooperation with the Ministry of Home Affairs and the various police departments. The largest problem is this: the country does not know, the government does, but the country does not know what the central monitoring system is going to involve and what it entails. Who is going to implement it? What are they going to do? Who is in charge of it? Is there a process for redressal? None of this is known.